Hello cooking fans, here we are again and we'd like to respond to your requests to present you another menu. Today, as you can see, it's holiday season. You can see it from the decoration, the holiday decoration that we have in our home. So today we'd like to present to you a festive appetizer. A festive appetizer that you will not find in any cooking book. I honestly must say I did not invent this appetizer. It's a friend of mine who made me discover this really delicious appetizer. Her name is Kathleen de Kuiper. So Kathleen, I dedicate this cooking lesson to you. I have you in my mind while making this menu. I like to start as usual by presenting you all the ingredients that I will use. But first, I will discover the name of this appetizer. It is called a caviar tart. Caviar tart. So here, what do we use? 14 eggs, hard-boiled eggs. We have 2 Philadelphia cheeses with chives and onions, sour cream, lemons, 1 onion, parsley, that's for the decoration, dill and mint. Those are my tasting boosters, I call them. Of course, we have pepper and salt, like in any cooking lesson. We have a springvorm. It's just like we say it in Dutch, springvorm. We have garlic in virgin oil. Why not using regular garlic, because this is easy. Why not making our life easy? And this, of course, is the caviar. But there is a secret about this. I will explain that to you later. And then we need oil, because we're going to make our own mayonnaise. And this is what we're going to drink with the appetizer. It is Prosecco. And of course, you can bump this up, this Prosecco, and you can replace it by champagne. If you really want to give it a luxury touch for your friends, you say, hey, I'm offering champagne. But I challenge every person to taste the difference. You really have to be a connoisseur to make the distinction between a Prosecco and a champagne. But some people can. But we just use today the Prosecco. So we're ready for the first step. We're going to make our own mayonnaise. I won't blame you if you buy a ready-made mayonnaise, but I have a machine. It's my magic machine. It's called KitchenAid Cook Processor. You cannot find these machines in the States, but in the States they have Thermomix and Cuisinart. If you send me a PM, I will send you the link where you can find it. I call this a magical machine because it can do so many things. This machine can boil, fry, stew, steam, puree, and make dough to make your own bread. So it's really magic. We're gonna make our own freshly made mayonnaise. So what did I put here in my KitchenAid? 2 egg yellows, 2 spoons of mustard, and it can be a little bit spicy mustard, 2 spoons of vinegar, a little bit of lemon, pepper and salt. I also already added 100 milliliter of balsamic vinegar. So this is it. This is how we're going to start, by mixing it with the KitchenAid. Easy peasy. The speed, I put in the time, and I just press the button. It started mixing, and now we're going to add slowly our oil. It's a vegetable oil. We have to add it very slowly, just like you make mayonnaise by hand. So this is what you get after 4 minutes of hard labor by my KitchenAid. This is really good mayo, as you can see. And you remember my cooking lesson, important cooking lesson, always taste before you serve. So I'm gonna take a little taste of my mayo. Oh, this is delicious. And you know what does the trick? It's the fine olive oil mixed with garlic that I'm using. That gives you an extra touch on your mayo. Just try it and you will like it. And garlic is good for your health. We are ready for the second step. We're gonna make the first layer of our caviar tart. It's going to be the base layer. First, we're going to prepare all the ingredients that we will put into this first layer. So first, I'm going to chop up some fresh mint. I love to work with freshly ingredients. That's why we also made our own mayo. And you look at this multiple scissors. Isn't that cool? It's just easy. It's important that in the kitchen you have the proper tools. Once the mint is done, we're gonna rasp some lemons, 2 lemons. And here is something nice. I'm using seedless lemons. All zinc, no seeds. All zinc? Yeah, all zinc, no seeds. Funny, isn't it? But it's cool. No seeds in the lemon. Don't be afraid that you put too much lemon zest in the base of the caviar tart. It gives that freshness together with the mint and the lemon gives the freshness of your caviar tart. So look at this, a nice pile of cut up mint and rasped lemon. That's going to be delicious for the caviar tart. The third ingredient that we will put in our base is an onion, a cut up onion. And of course, we have the proper tool to do so. So I cut up my onion in 4 pieces, put it in this cute tool, and I love doing this. Look at this. Look at this. And by the way, no crying, just chopped onion. So this is our third ingredient to put in our base. But now, of course, the most important ingredient, our eggs. And I don't have to show you how to boil hard-boiled eggs. So I have 14 hard-boiled eggs. I'm going to cut them up with a fork, and that's going to be the basis. Okay, so here's the first egg. We're just going to mash it up with a fork, just like that. Small pieces, not too small, not too big, okay? And once that's done, we're going to put it in our pot. There we go. So we have a nice portion of chopped up eggs. We're going to add all the ingredients that we have prepared. So I start with the zest and the mint. Just put it on top. We're going to mix it. And then we add the onions. And mix this up first before you do the next step, so don't forget that. So that everything is very well combined. Once that's done, here's the mayo. The mayo is going to be the cement to keep this egg layer together. So it's important you put enough mayo in there. I'm going to start with maybe 6 good soup spoons. You cannot exaggerate, but you might have to put enough cement in this mixture. Okay. As usual, don't forget to put pepper and salt. So I don't exaggerate on the salt, but I certainly like to put a lot of pepper in it, give it a little bit spice. So don't forget this, because you cannot correct it afterwards. It's too late. All right, here we go. That looks good. So once this is done, I'm going to ask you, what is the most important lesson in a cooking school? It's tasting. So you have to taste this before you start using this. So I'm going to take a small amount. Do I taste the onion? Do I taste the mint? That's important. Is there enough mint in there? I think we can add some more. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some more mint. So as you can see, I added a lot of chopped up mint leaves and lemon zest. So you never can use too much. So for instance, now I have used a whole box of mint, maybe 7, 8 or 9 branches or sprigs or whatever they call it. I call them branches of mix. So you just put enough in it. So when you taste it, that you can taste the lemon and the mint. That's very important. So as you see, I'm getting now, it's almost like a mud pile of egg with fresh ingredients, of course. Lesson 2, taste it again. Much better, much better. So enough mint, enough lemon zest. You don't have to exaggerate with the onion, but the onion is also important. Enough pepper and salt, so it has a good spicy taste. Just in case you're wondering, didn't he talk about garlic? Yes, I talked about garlic. Garlic, minced garlic, in extra virgin olive oil. And so the advantage of exposing all the ingredients on the table, the advantage is that you don't forget any ingredient, which I almost did. But here we go. I add just 1 teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic. So this here is gonna be my ground base and my 3rd layer. In between this ground base and 3rd layer comes this here. This here is 15 ounces of sour cream and 15 ounces of Philadelphia cheese. Philadelphia cheese with chives and onion. So we're going to mix that together. Once you have mixed that, we're going to add some cut up dill. I find my scissors. My scissors are here. So I bought some fresh dill and we just are going to mix it in between. Boy, I love those scissors. Look at that. As you can see, I have cleaned up my workspace. My spouse, who's behind my mobile to make this video clip, she always tells me, clean up your mess. And so I do. I mean, I'm a chef, but she's the boss in the kitchen. And whether you agree or don't agree, you can write me a comment. I always like to read your comments. So now that I have cleaned up a little bit, looks what's left over. It's my spring form, my caviar, my lemons, and my parsley. And my Prosecco, of course. And I haven't touched the Prosecco. But I start with the spring form, and I'm going to start building my caviar tart. So this is the base layer. And as you can see, I'm putting in a good amount because it's the base. Spread it around, push it down. It's important that you push it down. It has to be vast. If you don't do that, when you open the spring form, your tart will be like a pudding. Just to be sure that I've pressed it hard enough, I take my tool to make mashed potatoes and I really am gonna push it down. And certainly go to the edges, push everything down. That's it. It's not more than this. Base layer. Intermediate layer, the sour cream and the Philadelphia cheese. Same style. Not as high as the base layer. Just spread it out in an even layer, even thick. Push it gently down with the back side of your spoon. So this is an intermediate layer. On top of the intermediate layer, the second layer of eggs. By the way, I forgot to tell you the size of this springform. This springform has a diameter of 19 centimeters, which is about 7.5 inches, if I'm correct. I think so. Okay. And now we're gonna finish with the top layer. Again, the sour cream and the Philadelphia. And that's it. That's it, folks. This is the caviar tart. Now, of course, the main ingredient of the whole tart, that's still missing, that's the caviar. But we cannot put it on like this because it will disappear in this mixture. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna cover this up with the foil and we're gonna put it in the fridge for at least 12 hours. So it will be ready to eat and to finish up tomorrow. So please come back tomorrow and see how we finish it. As you can see, we are the next day. Thanks for coming back. Yesterday we started preparing the caviar tart. Today it's almost dinner time, time for the appetizer, time for the caviar tart. So let's finish that. Yesterday we put the caviar tart in the fridge. Today, just for 15 minutes, I put it in the freezer just to be sure that it's hard enough. Because otherwise, when I will open the springform, it will sink in like a weak pudding. So here it is. Let's start the decoration now. But first, I'm gonna tell you my secret. Yesterday, I told you that we were gonna use that Romanov caviar. Now, it is not real caviar. it is black lumpfish. Why? Because the price of caviar is way too expensive. The caviar costs 20 times as much as this black lumpfish. Nobody will notice the difference. So, let's start. We take off the foil. And we're gonna spread the caviar in a very thin layer on top of the tart. So I will need a second one. That's it. Now we're gonna put some lemon wedges there. Just decoration, like the way you want. Put some parsley, looks nice. Some yellow, some green. Goes well together with the black of the caviar. And there we go. Caviar tart. Now comes the tricky part. It's to open this spring form. I already put it on a nice Christmas dish, and so you have to do this very carefully or it's going to break open. So here we go. I open it all the way and I lift it up. And boy, am I lucky. Look what a nice, delicious caviar tart. So this is good for 8 persons, 6 persons if you're big eaters, but don't mistake, this is a heavy stuff. But it's so delicious, you will not stop eating it. I always make it big enough so that I have a piece left over, so I have still an extra piece the next day and even 2 days later. But you cannot tell my guests that I hide those extra pieces for myself. It is so good, I'm just ready to die for it. So let's go to the table. We're going to have our appetizer. We are ready for a delicious appetizer. But first, I'd like to say thank you to my spouse, who's becoming an expert mobile video maker. So we have some Prosecco, or you can pretend it's champagne. Cheers. 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 When I offer this to my guests, we play a little game. I let them guess how many ingredients are in this caviar cake. If they can find 5 ingredients, that's a success. Of course, there are more than 5 ingredients in there. Before you will start eating, I'd like to say goodbye. Thank you for watching us. And I wish you the very best, a very Merry Christmas, and a very good, happy and healthy New Year. Hope to hear you again soon. Goodbye et bon appétit.